to tell us what he's making of things. Joins us every Tuesday. Sushil, great to have you with us here. Thank you very much for your time. Very, very quickly, Sushil, I mean, the market made the low on the 24th of December. And, we've added on 1,500, 1,600 points very, very fast. How do you see things?
Right.
And have we begun a fresh up move?
4 questions here. Yes, it is a fresh up move where I do not rule out a move significantly beyond the prior all-time high on Nifty and even on Bank Nifty to an extent. So that's going to take time. It's going to happen over time. And as you rightly pointed out, within these holidays, some are accusing it's a low volume market or whatever it is. The market is definitely, up from 16,400 to the 17,800 now. So that's almost 8.5%, 9% up move on Nifty, both by common sense as well as by charts. This is a place for medium-term swing traders to be cautious. But given that, the bigger outcome, the bigger outlook still remains very positive, I will refrain from shorting stocks. Also because I scanned through all the F&O stocks to find, it's always good to be the devil's advocate when you're feeling very strongly towards one side, which is significantly larger new highs. So I tried finding any stocks that I can short on a validated technical pattern, even if at least as a hedge, or if this computation about Nifty going to 20,000 plus goes wrong, I'm not able to find stocks worth shorting. So if that's the case, trying and playing every 300 points on Nifty is not our cup of tea. We, after 30 years being in the markets, could not acquire that skill to, sustainably do that continuously for our lifetimes. So I'll refrain from that. But any dips that come in, there are lots of stocks that I will still like to give you a buy with a caveat that buy them on the dips.
Okay. All right, Sushil, give us some of those stocks then.
So, last week we discussed about Tata Motors. Tata Motors wasn't discussed with you. So say Apollo Tyres C8 and then you have Amara Raja Batteries or you have an Exide. Now Tata Motors we have added to that list. Bajaj Auto and Hero MotoCorp have done some rally. Any pullbacks are a buy in them. I think the obituary that a lot of people have written on the two-wheeler business simply because anybody can announce a electric two-wheeler. To announce an electric two-wheeler and then to provide the entire paraphernalia of a countrywide distribution and support and maintenance. So the old horses, they have had their own deep correction. I think people are underestimating the potential of the move that is visible on the charts on both Hero Moto and Bajaj Auto. And as more stories will come out about these new aspirants, maybe then the fundamental comfort will come. But most of the time, technical analysis helps you feel comfortable outside your comfort zones. So thumping the table buys remain on Bajaj Auto, Hero MotoCorp. Then within, say, the banking space, while the regular banks, they're all looking very good and on pullbacks, they may again be buy. But the table thumping kind of big buy moves, if I notice, the real laggards that went nowhere, a DCB, it's looked like it's headed up 50% from here, or a Bank of Baroda headed up a 50% up from here. Or say Bank of India, I really, unless and until, people are able to corroborate that on what kind of a fundamental justification can make such a move. The potential that it can become a 2-bagger or a 3-bagger from here cannot be ruled out, though for probability, our internal call has been to our clients that it's a doubler from here. So many laggards that are going to be moving now. Now the whole FMCG space, if this inflation story revives, the fundamental comfort will come. The charts are all screaming that, don't try to sell me. So in ITC, maybe whiling its time, or Hindustan Lever is just luring people to still kind of slam the stock. But even if a Lever or an Asian Paints, they'll all go into new highs. So Lever going into new high means a 50% up move on that. So there's a whole host of stocks across the board. And I think whatever each is comfortable with, the whole game is about, keeping your expectations modest, trying to make money every week is another game. There is a lot of noise in the markets. Safe over the next 4 or 5 days, if Wall Street goes down by 5% in a correction, will it not cause a lot of noise here? So to take the markets for granted on a day-to-day basis is not our ability. But across the board, there are buys.
Sure. Sushil, good afternoon. So you said that FMCG is something to keep on the radar. You spoke about ITC and HUL. Any other FMCG names you like? I'm talking about some of these paint companies like Asian Paints, something like a Tata Consumer that have done very well in the last year, year and a half, but now have started to consolidate a bit. Anything in that space?
See, as the momentum will keep rotating sector to sector, Sonia, the simpler question at this moment of the market is, am I going to even think of shorting any of these? No. So there will be a buy at some point. And, whether a 5% tolerance is required on them right now or a 3% tolerance on Asian Paints, Asian Paints has already gotten into an uptrend. So it's a matter of time. But say if I like to add a couple of names, maybe, within the IT space, which has run up so much, I think, India Marts is a stock which I see has a clear potential of going to 10,000 first. And if that takes out, we'll then come and revise whether it's 12,000 or 16,000. So, even if the whole IT pack the large cap is looking like it's toppy and due for a small correction to yield space to others, there are these smaller stocks across the board in all the sectors that have, that 50%, 100% kind of an up move. So more than trading, I think, we'll focus on keeping less leverage and trying to get on larger moves.
Sushil, did you address the public sector companies, NTPC, Coal India, Power Grid, their entire pack, which is buzzing? Anything there? You've spoken about this space earlier.
Yes, we spoke about this 2 weeks ago with you. They're all looking good. Not a problem at all. They're all firing well.
Anything in particular there you like? Or you go with the basket?
The whole basket is good.
What about ITC, Sushil? What's the take on ITC at around this 220 rupee odd?
देखो जिस दिन चलेगा उस दिन चलेगा, बेचना तो है नहीं. So how much it tires you more is another thing. But say without it until it breaks below 210, we'll keep on holding it. Whether it rewards us to the move to 280 within this month or the next one, it's a matter of time.
Any other stocks that have sort of been consolidating where you expect to see a breakout? I mean, you spoke about, some of the auto names, some of the FMCG names, but anything else that you'd want to talk about? Especially some of these mid-cap names that have performed really well last year, now cooled off a little bit. Anything on your radar?
See, whether you call Abbott a mid-cap, I think Abbott is headed up for a 50% up move. Even Aditya Birla, ABFRL, that has kind of consolidated, is due for a 20-30% up move. Aegis Chemical 50. Sonia, I'll end up taking 1 hour to give you a long list. So I'll quickly run through them. So in AIA Engineering, Aegis Chemical, even an Ashok Leyland, which a lot of people are looking as a fundamental hedge kind of short sell. I think Ashok Leyland is due for a move to 40-50% higher. Apollo Tyres is 40-50% higher. We are still bullish on Godfrey Phillips. GIC RE is looking good. Graphite, Gujarat Alkalis, Gujarat Gas. There's a long list of stocks. So on an 8-minute conversation, I think the bottom line is every dip is a buy. Is that the market arrived? Yes, that's the market that has arrived. And more than trying to do momentum trading, do momentum investing for the next 2 months.
Good speaking to you as always, Sushil. Thanks so much for stopping by and filling us in with your take on the index as well as quite a few stocks that we just discussed. By the way, 17,800 is almost here. Big boy Reliance Industries, that's the one that's put its hand up and got counted for the last 30-40 minutes. So that's moved to the high point of the day. You pull up Reliance Industries. That's really the one that's driven the markets higher just in the last 60-odd minutes. Well, we'll slip into a short break, but on the other side, we'll tell you what's going on with Marico as well as Imami. Both of them slump on the back of consumption woes. Details when we return.